In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at useful phrases for setting up internet, TV and phone deals, predominantly in the UK, although there will be quite a lot of crossover and things that you can use if you are in North America as well. So I had the experience, as some of you know, of living in Spain a while ago. And suddenly I was in a new language and a new system, and I didn't know how to go about doing this. I didn't know where to look on the internet. My Spanish was quite limited, so it was a difficult task. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is giving you some quite practical pointers about how you set these services up if you're considering staying in the UK for a longer time. I hope you will consider doing that. But also potentially how to save a little bit of money, because if you get the right contract, then that can save you money in the long run. Now, there are some excellent price comparison websites where you can filter your results and say exactly what you're looking for. Are you looking for a 6-month contract, a 12-month contract? Do you want standard broadband, which means high-speed internet, or do you want like super fast fiber internet? And that will depend on what you are using it for. Are you using it for work? How many people are there in the household? Are you all going to use it at the same time? Because remember, the speed they quote you, that will be divided by how many people are using the internet connection. So, you know, think about it. If you're working online, then, and there are 4 other people sharing that, then you need to factor that into the speed of internet that you require. Okay, so they will probably ask you what kind of month. What I'm thinking about here is questions that will come up on an online screen for you choosing the right package. So monthly usage allowance. How much do you want to be able to use the internet? Now, I'm not very good on what megabytes and gigabytes and all that mean, but try and have a rough idea. Maybe base it on a previous bill. Allowance is what you are allowed each month. Obviously, you want to ask for slightly more than you need rather than slightly less, because if you run out before the end of the month, then you know you're going to have problems. They will ask you if you want a landline as well. A landline. Now, that is a telephone, not a mobile, but one that comes through the wires, so to speak, and actually has a handset. Do you want one of those so that people can call you on a 01 number? Perhaps if you're going to live there for a long time, then that's a good idea. If you're just going to be there for a short amount of time, then probably there's no point. Now, with your landline, you're going to need to be careful that you don't then end up with a huge phone bill. So think about how you're going to use that phone. Do you want to be able to receive voicemail? Do you want to be able to use it to make calls during the day, the evenings, the weekend? I was looking at one price comparison website earlier, and it said inclusive Eve and we calls. What? Inclusive? That means you're not going to pay extra for. Eve, short for evening. Yep. Evening, as in maybe after 5 p.m, after 6 p.m. You'd have to see how they classify it. We, short for weekend. Weekend calls. Presumably all of Saturday and Sunday. Now, on the particular deal that I was looking at, you had to pay extra for call barring. So that means shutting out if there's a number you don't want to be contacted by, then you can configure, then you can tell your telephone not to accept that call, and that cost, I don't know, £1 or something a month. You can also pay to withhold your number if you want to make telephone numbers and your number to remain a secret so that they don't then ring you back. I have known family members of mine using this so that particular family members don't then redial and redial and redial again and again and again. But I don't think it's meant to be used for that. Okay. Once you've found the deal that looks just about right for you, they will probably ask you to make an initial payment and then set up a direct debit. So initial means at the beginning. Direct debit is a system of payment through your bank. You have to fill out a form where a certain amount of money will go out automatically on the same day of each month to pay things like, to pay bills. Then, not straight away, but you'll probably get sent an email, I would say about a week, 10 days later, saying when your activation date is going to be. Excitement, woohoo, activation date. Very exciting news. So it doesn't really mean anything. And when it happened to me recently, I knew when the activation date was. They sent a router. Should we practice pronouncing that? A router in the post. And I simply followed the instructions, plugged it in, and that was pretty much it. It was working. I had to, and then in the router package, there was a card with the password on. Enter that into the computer, telephone, and mobile phones, and you're away. Bob's your uncle. Okay, so hope that's clear. Any questions, shove them down in the comments down below. And we're going to carry on with TV. Now, in the UK, it is a legal requirement to pay for a TV license if you are going to be watching BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5. Okay, works out at around £25 a month, something like that. So if you are watching TV and you're not paying a TV license, then they'll know who you are, where you are, and you'll get a knock on the door. Not straight away, but it's not worth doing. So go online, search for apply for TV license. It's very easy to do. Just like this, you'll set up a direct debit, and then you'll be legally watching television, and you'll be helping to support the BBC and the work they do, which is good. Okay, so once you've paid that, ideally there will be an aerial up on the roof, and it will come down, and there will be like an aerial port, a little sort of hole in the wall, and then you connect a white lead from there into the back of your TV, turn the telly on. Telly, short for television. Yeah, we call it a telly. Telly, the telly. Turn the telly on. Great. Oh no, it's not working. There's no signal from the aerial. At that point, if you are renting, I would call up the estate agent and say, there doesn't seem, polite way of saying there is none, there doesn't seem to be any reception. I'm not receiving any television from my magnificent aerial. What's going on here, guys? And they'll, as estate agents tend to do, say, not my problem, you sort it out. At which point you face a headache. You are like, I have to sort this problem out. What shall I do? or you call someone who knows what they're doing, ideally a friend, so you don't have to pay them loads of money, and they'll come round. So it may be because of how the previous tenants received their television. Maybe they had cable, satellite, and they weren't using an aerial, in which case you may have to buy some kind of box, or you can also get things just to plug into the television, which use a Wi-Fi connection to stream things from the internet. So you can get like Netflix, or you can get the iPlayer, which is a fantastic resource of all the programs that have been on the BBC, as well as Channel 5, etc. Loads of stuff. So with Wi-Fi, if you get that plug-in thing from Amazon, you'll get a whole load of content as well. But if you're like, I want loads and loads and loads and loads of TV, then you may be looking to pay for satellite services. All inclusive, all of the channels is really, really expensive. So you probably have to select, well, what do I want to watch? Benjamin wants me to improve my English, so I'm going to choose maybe news, films. Really, anything you're watching in English can help your English. Documentaries are great for improving English. Anything you're interested in, really. Okay, so there are different companies that offer satellite services. You would need to do some research to find out which of those offers the best for your interest. For example, if you're into football, are they mainly shown on this satellite service or the other satellite service? And then again, you could do probably quite a good price comparison of the different satellite deals out there, because they will range widely in price, so it's worth selecting the best one. Okay, we're going to move on now to arranging a mobile phone contract. Now, there's a couple of different options with mobile contract, and it depends whether you're looking for a handset, as in the actual phone. Let's write that useful word down. Handset, we call it. Handset. That means the actual phone. Do you need a new phone, or were you just looking for the actual minutes, the contract? Yeah, a SIM card. Yep. Are you looking for SIM only or handset as well? SIM only. Yeah, the little chip. You'll probably find if you're looking for a SIM only that it's cheaper to get it online. But if you're looking to go in and have a conversation in an actual shop, then you'd be looking to use some of these phrases here. Obviously, some of the vocab is going to overlap with buying it online. Okay, so hi there. I'd like to get a new mobile phone contract, please. And then they'll probably say, are you looking for a handset or SIM only, sir, madam? And I'd say, whatever one I was choosing. And then they might ask me about trying to find out which is the best deal for me when I'm going to use the phone, etc. So I would say, I'm mainly going to be using my phone in the evenings and at weekends. I think in North America they say on weekends. So off-peak. I think I'll need 600 minutes a month, 800 minutes a month, 400, 200, whatever you think it is going to be. So mainly means mostly. Yeah, I'm mostly going to be using my phone. I'm mostly going to be using my phone. I'm mainly going to be using my phone. I'm mainly going to be using my phone. In the evenings and at weekends, so off-peak. On-peak is during the working day, between 9 and 5. Off-peak is when most people are not at work. Obviously, I am working right now in off-peak. I think I'll need such and such a so-and-so minutes a month. Okay, so, well, we have this, or this, or this. Let me see. They're going to ask another question, maybe. What are you looking to use it for? What they're really trying to find out here is, do you want to use various apps, Google Maps, WhatsApp, whatever apps you use a lot? Yeah, I want to use WhatsApp, Instagram, City Mapper, Google Maps, Waze, I don't know. I won't be downloading much. Or I like to watch films on my phone. So try and give them a good idea of how much internet you're going to need to use. Now, if you're buying a SIM only online, then there are some websites that roughly work this out for you, rather than speaking to the person. They can give a rough estimate by asking these kind of questions of what you're going to be using it for. Now, you need to know about the contract. How long, how many months, years will I be tied into the contract? If you're tied into the contract, you can't escape it. You're stuck. Help, help, I'm stuck in a contract. If you need to get out of a contract that you're tied into, then you'd have to pay some money to escape. And they'll say, well, this deal's for 12 months. This one's for 24 months. It's normally a year or 2 years. So that's something to think about. How long are you going to be in the country for? You don't want to be paying for something when you're not there. And then talking about your handset, your phone, is it possible to upgrade my phone? To upgrade, so I've got a basic phone, means they recycle this one and give me a new one. But probably I will have to pay each month for that phone. It often works out cheaper to buy the phone, like if you can, straight away, rather than paying for it on a monthly basis. Okay, quite a lot of information in today's lesson. I'm by no means an expert on these matters. I'm just looking to try and share some of the vocab with you, just to make sure that it's settled in there somewhere, that you can retrieve this information at will. It'd be a good idea to head over to engvid.com and have a go at doing the quiz. And do make sure you are a subscriber of mine, because then when my video comes online for how to speak to customer services, when you're having problems with these things, you'll get that video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.